was having a conversation with the homie the other day, and we were talking about the industry as far as Hollywood and the whole celebrity thing. Looking at movies, even TV series, as far as going to, that was always the go-to for entertainment, as far as entertainment as a whole. But what you're starting to see as people are starting to view celebrities for who they are, the more they open a mouth, like Robert De Niro exposing, their ultra progressive liberal. I mean, it's to a point where it's like oversaturating their art. And that's what we go to movies to see. You had a lot of the Avengers cast on a video call, basically spilling out their guts and how liberal and progressive they are and how they go in line with Kamala Harris and the Biden administration and all that, and the direction the world is going in. And it's just overall, it has turned off a lot of consumers. Because for some strange reason, overall, it was proven during the campaign trail and all that. But let's just ignore that part of it. So you guys are blatantly coming out and choosing a side, not realizing that your craft, your artistic profession, you're basically painting yourself in a corner as taking sides. You're alienating a whole side of political ideology and the way people carry themselves. You basically said, screw conservatives, screw Republicans. We don't need your money. We don't want your money. So what you're seeing, based on even this last election, more people voted conservative than the Democrats expected. That's just another side effect to all this, that people have increasingly gotten tired and fed up with celebrities as a whole. So now what you're starting to see, that, when certain shows come on, like Netflix and stuff like that, Netflix or whatever your streaming service is, you want to watch a new series, and you go into it, you go into it with an open mind. You're like, okay, I want to see what this is about. This person is a good actor, this person is a good actress. Let's see what kind of art they can create on a small screen or even the big screen. And then they get so caught up with to divert your attention away from the movie writing, the directing, everything that goes along with creating a good product. They veer your attention away from that just so you can look at and concentrate on something that has absolutely nothing to do with the storyline and the story of the show. They want to make sure they shove the wokeness in front of your face, whatever it is, race, gender, who you lay down with. They want to make sure they shove that in your face. And it's like, do you guys realize that we invest a lot of time and money also into viewing artistic products, TV shows, TV series? We are a big part of that demographic also. So if you go out of your way to alienate us to the point where we're like, all right, well, screw it, we're going to withdraw our money and our attention, that's going to affect your bottom line. And what you're starting to see now is a lot of people are starting to prefer video games over movies and TV shows. Because in a video game, even though there's starting to be an influx of a lot of the unnecessary wokeness into that too, and this is why they see the shift happening away from movies and TV shows, away from celebrities as a whole. That's why they're trying to infiltrate and infect the video game industry with the woke virus. You're starting to see a lot of people that, okay, well, at least when I'm playing the game, if I can steer this story in any direction I want to go in, I can explore. I'll give you an example. An open world game, one of the most popular open world games of all time, of which is going to be it's currently the most anticipated game of all time that's going to drop this year. GTA, Grand Theft Auto 6. Highly anticipated game that's coming out. Why? Because there's a main storyline that's going to drop initially, and then soon after that will be the online version of GTA 6. And if you play GTA 6 online, there's so much that you can do on that game. You can create your own storylines. You have complete control in the game. You can buy businesses. You can, if you want to help out the police, you can do anything. You can literally make your own storylines with this game. And you're starting to see these type of games are exploding in popularity as people gravitate away from Hollywood movies and TV shows, TV series, because we realize, okay, if they want to inject all this woke, unnecessary nonsense into these shows, as a consumer, we don't have direct control over that because we're watching it. We can't change a scene and remove and insert characters. But what a lot of people know, like with GTA, you can change any dynamic. You can choose whatever missions you want to go on, what kind of heist you want to be a part of. The online community, you can team up with people if you want to, or you can do missions solo on your own. And this is what's destroying Hollywood right now. I mean, obviously there's a lot of other things too, but directly taking the consumer away from Hollywood. People are not going to movies like they once did. They're not watching TV series like they once did. Every now and then you'll have a hit TV series that'll come on. It'll run its course, and then that'll be it. Because the actors and actresses probably get full of themselves if the show is successful. You look at the show Stranger Things, and don't know how true it is, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was true. A lot of people say that the main character, I forgot her real name, Billy something. They say she, over the years, she became such a diva as a, she's a nice looking young lady. She has a lot of talent. She actually writes and directs and stuff. So she has a lot of talent, but, rumors were that she's kind of hard to work with and she's a jerk and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true or not. Over time, if it is true, that type of mentality and personality destroys all shows, even especially the good ones. So there's not that many good shows to go around as it is, and then when you get a hit show, people start they don't get along, and sometimes streaming of the show ends up dropping, and before you know it, that show is canceled, and it's a never-ending cycle. So that's why I came over here to TikTok, because I want to show because I'm not the only one that's seeing this at all. People are starting to replace movies and TV shows with video games and streaming. That's why video game streaming is very lucrative right now. Just like podcasting and YouTube and all that. But these things are literally replacing movies and TV shows. And let's check out some of these videos right quick.
We've seen, TV adapt and, be able to bring better and better special effects to the small screen. I think I'm starting to get to that point where I just think video games inherently work better as series than they do movies. So maybe we'll have to see, how this one progresses, but I would not be at all surprised if somewhere down the line in development, it makes that change.
I am so sick and fucking tired about AAA developers just taking everybody's money and putting out shit video game year after year.
Well, I'm putting the burden of lousy movies back on you. It's very simple. If you stop going to bad movies, they'll stop making bad movies.
The jig is up.
Games that would be better as streaming shows than movies. Part 6.
Come on, let's get this done. John, you sure you're okay?
Like I said, I'm fine. Follow my lead. Both these rednecks don't think so.
So physical media is like all the rage, right? Please tell me y'all are collecting more than just DVDs? P.S. Ignore this. I've been home all week because I never work. So anyway, if you are into gaming, everyone knows, right? If you don't, PSA, that if you have an original Xbox, you can get it modded, or you can buy a modded version, or if you have a homeboy, he can mod it for you to hold other gaming systems so that you don't have to have 20 gaming systems and it can play all of your classic games. Do you know what I'm talking about? Let me show you. So right now on my little Xbox that you can see over in the corner, I am playing Nintendo 64. That Sting, my first husband. Anyway, I am playing Nintendo 64, WCW No Revenge, because the Nintendo 64, every Nintendo 64 game ever is modded into my Xbox. I will go back to the home screen and show you what I'm talking about. So basically this is what my Xbox home screen looks like. And then you go to emulators. And then on mine, I can choose between Atari, Game Boy, Sega Genesis, Nintendo, and Nintendo 64, and Super Nintendo. And it has every game ever up until like, I think like 2004, 2005, something like that. And some of the controls are a little wonky, obviously, because it is an Xbox controller, but it has all the systems on there. And this was just the cost of a janky old Xbox and then a homie that modded it for us. And you can get these at flea markets, so you can probably buy them on eBay still. I mean, I don't know, I haven't looked in forever. Or you can have a buddy do it if they're good with their hands and computers. So, just wanted to turn some of y'all on. If you game as well as collect physical media, you need to...
Come on, let's get this done. John, you sure you're okay?
Like I said, I'm fine. Follow my lead. Both these redneck families think they can ruin us? I don't think so.
There they are.
Who steals a gun? I'm gonna let fly at those sons of bitches. I need you to stay calm. Get down here now, you
What the hell do you want?
So physical media is like...
Since it seems to be that Hollywood is hanging up its capes in terms of superheroes in the box office, you have to wonder what's next. Well, I have a few ideas, and I'm going to explore them in this video series I'm calling Hollywood's Cash Cow. What's next? No, I've got to move over superheroes. The first and perhaps most obvious guess would be video game adaptations. From The Witcher to Detective Pikachu to the Super Mario Brothers movie to Warcraft, there are hundreds and hundreds of video game adaptations. And what's the big draw here? Well, of course, built-in audiences. There are millions of people who've been playing these video games and are ready to buy tickets to go see the movie, theoretically. While I may not be a big video game player myself, I do have a lot of appreciation for the storytelling in it. I mean, these are
This is going to backfire on Hollywood too, because they're thinking, okay, we can tap into the video game genre by just making big budget movies about these same video games. But they're not looking at the control of the consumer as far as the characters, what they can do and what they can say, we're not quite at, just cut and paste the lines and stuff like that, what they say. But pretty soon, you're going to be able to have your voice on your character on the screen while you're playing. You'll be able to respond to them. They'll be able to, you're actually having conversations. You'll be able to change the story how you see fit. And this control is going to completely destroy what Hollywood is trying to do right now. Like, the video game industry is very lucrative. Let's make movie adaptations behind video games. See, that's not going to work the way they think it's going to work.
Expansive universes, and the depth that these characters have to go through these universes are unmatched in cinema. Oh my god, Disco has ruined me. I haven't even finished playing it yet, and it has ruined me in terms of storytelling. It is so fucking good. So of course this would be appealing to the heads of studios. I mean, as they see it, these are fully fleshed out entire worlds with fleshed out characters. All they have to do is drag and drop, right? Hollywood tends to not be good at adapting video games into film and TV. Look no further than examples like Resident Evil or The Rampage, and some may say the Super Mario Brothers 1993 was a horrible adaptation. I beg to differ. I think that was probably one of the greatest, most innovative, brilliant adaptations of all time, and I will not be told differently. I can make another video about that if anybody cares, but I truly think that is probably one of the most brilliant adaptations of all time. The next snafu we run into is the fact that you're trying to fit a minimum of like 30 hours of gameplay into a 2-hour film, which is a daunting task for anybody, especially when the critics are not exactly going to be lenient. Which is why I think that video game adaptations personally pay much better respect to the source material when done as a TV show, such as The Last of Us. The other reason that show did so well, though, I believe, is because they brought in the original creators from the actual video game itself. So the directors and some of the story writers got to actually help on this TV show, which made it better. Why have they not learned from that? Bring in the original creators. The people who know the source material best are probably the ones who created it. Just saying. I can be as speculative as I want, but only time will tell, because the amount of video games that are currently on slates to be developed. This is just one studio, and these are all of the IP adaptations that they are in the process of developing. I am a little hesitant to call video game adaptations the next big thing for Hollywood. I mean, remove the interactive component, and I'm not sure that there's enough there, critically, for people to come back to over and over again. So I think that video games is a bit of a hot and heavy romance for studios right now, and I don't think that it's going to stick the way that they want it to, But the next thing I think actually could stick. So go to my next video and watch that.
Y'all, check out this list that I just discovered by looking up random shit. These are video games that they plan on turning into movies or a TV series. Now, there's a longer list than this. However, I just wanted to focus on the ones that were to be announced because those ones aren't set in stone. They're not in the works yet. But the ones that are dated, plan on having them come out. So they must have either finished them or...
Everybody got music on this shit. I'm about to replace all the music. But this is generally what I was talking about. And it's a last-ditch effort by Hollywood to find another market to infect with their wokeness. They know that the natural creativity of making movies and creating stories on their own, they're not even able to do that anymore. So now they went to the superhero genre and was like, oh, let's make some live-action movies about superheroes. And for a time, it worked. And when Marvel's Endgame ended, it was literally the end game for that idea. It had ran its course. So the title itself was very fitting because it was indeed the end game. Probably not what Hollywood was expecting, but now they're crawling to the video game genre to basically do the same thing. It's not going to work the way they think it's going to work because people, like I said, there's more control from the gamer, which creates more individual, specialized enjoyment that's specific to the person playing the game. They can maneuver things the way they want as far as cars or weapons or the overall attitude of the character that they're playing. There's more control there. And this is why people are choosing, they would prefer playing a video game than watching movies now. Because with movies, you don't know what you're going to get. You think, okay, this is going to be an objectionable show. It might be pretty good. Let me give it a chance. How many times have you guys done that? And first couple episodes might be pretty good. And it's like, oh, okay. Then all of a sudden they just, bow, smack you right in the face with some unnecessary wokeness that has nothing to do with the overall story at all. It'll be different if it's naturally ingrained into it. When we watch Ripley in Aliens, we didn't look at her like, oh, it's a woman protagonist and oh, she's playing a hero. That's crazy. What are they doing? The story grew naturally. The series and franchise grew naturally. Everybody loved Ripley, and she used to kick some ass too. Didn't nobody care if she was a woman. It was a great overall product, but Hollywood just didn't learn from that. So now they're force feeding the consumer, which is basically chasing the consumer away. This is why they're losing so much money. And they know video games is about to overtake them. All these little shows that are coming out with that nobody's paying attention to, because people would rather jump on a stream and game because there's more control there. You can control the environment. It's realm, but they won't learn. Hollywood won't learn until it's too late. And we're pretty much there already because video games have taken over Hollywood. Not in the way that Hollywood thinks. This is why they're trying to duplicate movies behind video games. No, people are choosing to not watch movie and TV series and preferring to pop on a PlayStation, Xbox, or PC. Jump into the gaming world that way where you have more control. That's what they're not getting. More control. Those that like the progressive ultra liberal wokeness, they have control to put that in their environment. And those of us that don't like that, we have a choice not to have that in our environment. And if it seeps in, we have a recourse to deal with it because we have more control. So let me know what y'all think. Will people choose video games over movies and TV shows nowadays? Let me know what y'all think down in the comment box down below. I, for one, think so, but let me know what y'all think. This is Gen X Media 7. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This transmission is over.